Hi, welcome. Welcome to the walkthrough. Let's get, I haven't used any of those. So, okay, let's just do it. We're fun. We're quirky. We're happy. We're so happy people want to listen to us. All right, nope, that's for later. Anyway, here's the sketchbook walkthrough. This is part one. I have a couple minute one that just truly walks through everything. I think the resolution is going to be a lot better on this. And I wanted to share some of the stories behind the sketchbook. So let's just go. So these were different people who were sitting around or walking around. The good thing about not being very good at portraits is you never have to worry about someone's privacy being broken because there's no way these people are recognizable to what I actually drew. I also wanted to draw my happy place, but all my inks in my desk over here, practicing patterns and plants. I think that helps with hand-eye coordination and just generally making a million mistakes before you do anything right. Over here, I flipped the nib and reverse it so I can get some line variation. This is with the Decimo, which is a pilot nib with a medium. Pilots have this wonderful reverse writing. So if you have a thicker line on one side, flip it over, you can write very smoothly, very easily. And this is with a custom teal mix that I made. Next ink, we've got Tiranishi Nostalgic Honey in a birch pilot vanishing point with a fine nib. This was a YouTuber that I was watching. It's a little more recognizable. I brought in a cello. I played violin from age 7 or 8 until my mid-20s. I auditioned to go to college for it. I was not as qualified for that as the many people who were applying and auditioning, but I was very good for public school trained. Let me tell you what, more flowers, more people. My cat makes an appearance. And this sword, I really love. I'm a big fan of fantasy novels. I grew up on The Wheel of Time and Roger Zelazny, Nine Princes and Amber, that kind of stuff. I went to a community art sale, and there was this kid there who hammered swords out of old nails. And this was just the coolest thing in the world. So that is whenever I'm feeling really fierce, I'll pick that up and just stab into the air a little bit. Another thing you'll see throughout this that's a little difficult is the backgrounds. So I'll often return to this dot pattern or tracing the grid or lines. This has let me learn a bit. Gosh, it's hard to say I've learned because I don't feel like I've mastered it at all. But it does give me tiny baby practice for perspective and distance in the background. So you can see the dots, the lines here, and just learning how a lighter, smaller line makes things look further away and a darker, bolder line makes things look closer. And just experiment with that. It's a little fun. I also really love drawing hair, curly hair. I have very curly hair. Next up, Tiranishi Opera Rose in a Winter King of Pen, which is a medium sailor nib. And you can see how similar these colors are. Honestly, they probably look exactly like on camera. But the Nostalgic Honey has a warm burnt color, and the Opera Rose has a dusky rose color. I've had these two inked in at least one pen, not two, ever since I got them. We've got more flower practice over here. I love sometimes, so maybe every 10 pages, I'll drop the box and it just makes it look like it's just bursting out of the side. This is one of the funnest pages. I love it. This is a bit of a take on Totoro. Not quite, because I can draw Totoro better than that, but it's fun. And then this image has just been stuck with me. This is one of those illustrations from imagination. Drawing from imagination is so hard, and it makes you think when you see these beautiful artists, their stickers that they draw. So here's an example of some stickers I've been checking out lately. But just, look at something like this. And the amount of talent and thought that goes into each one of these, it's just many beautiful paintings. And I just find it to be incredible. But when they do these complex, moody things, it blows me away. I love it. It makes me want to look around and see if everyone else is seeing the same thing I am. Because the amount of art and talent in the sticker world right now, it should blow us all away at all times. This eagle is on my mind because there's a restaurant where I live that has a massive full body sized eagle face. And whenever I take friends to that restaurant, which is every time I'm entertaining someone, I get a selfie with them. And so this is the eagle poking his eyes at me to let me know he likes that I bring my friends to see him. Got a little breakfast, some grapes. I've also been extremely interested in drawing waves, waves of all kinds. It is very therapeutic, and it's very easy to turn mistakes into something beautiful. I think that's a metaphor. Next up, more Tiranishi. We've got Innocent Mauve and a Vanishing Point. I always forget the name of it, but it's the special edition. Some fish came into play with this one and some airplanes. We've got that grid in the background. It's fun to swap in and out grids and backgrounds that make sense. Having an actual grid background in this one doesn't make sense, but that makes it kind of charming. Some repeating patterns, some celestial things that always adds a nice touch. This was all from one location. So maybe this was the ceiling tiles. This was a cup or a glass or a lamp that had a little candle in it. And then this was more of the ceiling as well with some stuff hanging down. This was outside the bar. My husband is really partial to jellyfish. So every time we go to a aquarium, we are always checking out the jellyfish, and I'm taking video of those. This is one of the pages I'm most proud of in all the books I've ever done, to be honest. So this is the E95 Fine, the thinnest line I have for now, and the Etchment Document Black. And I just am very smitten with where I got all these ideas. So this is from one of my favorite restaurants. It has plants hanging from the ceilings and big industrial things going on at the top. And then this tree, I'm so proud of it. When I first started accepting that I wanted to do art, even though I don't feel particularly talented, it was always my idea, if I could just paint realistic looking clouds, if I could just draw a realistic looking tree, I would feel $1,000,000. To me, those are the most glorious things in nature to look at. So the idea that you could capture that with a pen or a pencil or watercolor blows me away. And so when I sat down at the fire pit, which this is the fire pit, these are the chairs around the fire pit, and I started to I just surrendered to the tree. And I looked at the tree and I'm going to draw every little bit of you. And I'm not going to look away until I do it. And so by rotating the pen from the regular part to the backwards writing, I was able to capture, this really is what that tree looked. And I was so proud of myself. This is a little gully in the house where I grew up. My parents lived there. I still lived there since 1985, 1984. And this was just a big part of my childhood, was jumping over this, pretending it was a river or something out of The Hobbit. I had these awesome gray fake suede boots. I just felt like an elf. So I would make this big sword out of the branch. I'd put on my elf boots and I'd have a little backpack and I would just run over the river and pretend I was lost in the woods. This is Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle, which we watched for the first time a couple months ago. And then this is the machines from Howl's Moving Castle. It was just fun to create some machines. This is my mom and my dad. She did not like it when I showed her this, and this was her. So again, at this point, I'm just well known for really horrendous illustration of people and really horrendous self-portraits, honestly. I just did another one the other day. And kind of the joke between my husband and I that I'll take a flattering picture of myself and draw something like that. And I don't know. I feel like I capture the ugly essence of things. More machines, more trees. These are okay, but that one really makes me pleased. And then this is the view from my bed, maybe? Yeah, I've got this nice chair, curtains, bed. Love it. Next up, we've got the Vanishing Point with a medium. And this is Tiranishi. It's Kyoto. Sorry, I am so sorry. It is not Tiranishi. It's Kyoto Cherry Blossom, which is a much deeper rose. So here's a fairly accurate picture of my cat. Usually I have more of a style with the cats. And so with this, I tried to really get her mouth and just a little poofy, goody, cute. But I just want to pet it. experimented with some patterns, the cat's big fat butt. And so you can see this is a little more true to life, trying to be at least. And then this is more my stylistic depiction of the cat. Took the kids to the dentist. It was very cute. And that's a neat part of the vanishing point is it really is easy to just pop it out, click, sketch, put it away. It is less disruptive than taking your phone out, truly. So this is the view from my living room. We have this beautiful stairwell that comes down and does a turn. I am a sucker for a nice stairwell. And I wouldn't say our stairwell is particularly nice, fancy, but I just love it. Love it. Some of these things come easier than others. For example, we were at the dentist. I was in front of my cat. But then for these, I might just let my mind roam and be like, what haven't I drawn in a while? What can I look around the house and just see these different things? Next up, I did try Tiranishi Gentle Green. And this is in a medium vanishing point again. Got a lot of scenes from church. I went to a funeral. And so there was this really complex lovely wood with like draped fabric on the ceiling. So all of this is just different pieces of the church back of somebody's head. I tried to get the big picture view, but then also zero in on these tiny details. So this was, the parts of the pew in front of me and just the parts of the table. This is my memory of the person that passed away. There was this just wonderful joke in the family. They would always come over for Christmas parties and the night before Christmas kind of thing. And this man would always do the dishes. And it was just a really thoughtful thing he did for my mom, acknowledging what a big party she hosted. And, she'd say, get out of there, stop doing the dishes. And he'd say, this is what I do. It was just a really wonderful person. And this church, it was packed with people who appreciated this man and knew him in his life. A lot of Marines. Just really kind of funeral that makes you think. I guess all funerals make you think. I don't know. Here is Birmingham Pen Company Saltwater Taffy, the brightest, most vibrant pink. I adore it. And in this pen has only had this ink since I made the match. So there you go. A lot of nature scenes. We were outside. This is at Maymont, which is in my city. You can see this is a speech bubble that says, wow, peanuts and patterns. I tried to do a tree outside of a fence or a banister. This, we can see my feet in shoes. Honestly, I never wear shoes. I wear Birkenstocks year round. It's a couple things going on. Number one, I need the arch support. Number two, I have huge, very attractive, but huge man feet. They're really big, wide feet. They're beautiful to look at. I'm not going to show them right now. I love my feet, but they are really big and they don't fit anything comfortably. So I just wear Birkenstocks year round. And then three, they're also very hot. And I realized this is something in my family. My brother and I both get very hot feet. So we can't sleep if the feet are covered or if there's no outlet for escape. I won't be able to sleep. So I need no socks. I need sandals. I need Birkenstocks year round. Now, of course, this is a problem. You live in Virginia, there's going to be ice and snow. Honestly, I still just wear Birkenstocks because I'm not going to be out walking in the snow. I just dip to the car real quick. And so why not wear your Birkenstocks? You're going to be in a heated space forever. Anyway, just now I realized Birkenstocks makes shoe inserts. So I did get those and I put them in some shoes. And so I'm trying those out. But in general, literally, I'm going to wear shoes 2 days a year. And I don't know what those days are. I find out in advance. Here's some more water and patterns and boating. Somebody with a sword. I read a lot of fiction where people have swords or they do some kind of military training. But I've never learned to fight. So that's inconsistent. More of the cat, my car from the side, probably. So this is with one of my Hatchmark pens, the E95S. I am a huge fan of these. I have one in every nib size with backups. These are vintage from the 1970s. And so the idea that I might lose or break one and then never have access to it again, it haunts me at night. So I have a lot of those. And this is with Monteverde olivine. If you watched my other video, you know I have some olivine drama where I fell in love with an olivine, but it was pelican olivine. which went out of print or whatever inks do. And so I accidentally got Monteverde. I have this huge Monteverde, which is fine. But for some reason, some inks just don't connect with us spiritually, and that's okay. So I did my time. I'll probably re-get that or sample it out at some point. Over here, I went with the no box pop. So it all pops out and off. And these are just kind of my hair accessories over the years. I always have some kind of cream. People might not realize how much hair care goes into curly hair. And it's confusing because it's both more than you think and less than you think. So it's less than you think in that I truly don't wash my hair more than once a week. I'll get it wet or I'll rinse it. I'll clean, whatever's going on if I went to the sauna. But I'm only going to use shampoo, and I'm only going to use hydrating shampoo, this special creamy stuff, once a week. And that's what's going to keep curls much more healthy. So we've got my little hair stuff there. I also have a lotion, and then it's not quite a gel. It's flippier than a gel, but usually I put that up, then I pin it up. I don't brush my hair. This is the kids' brush. I don't really use scrunchies. I used to when I was younger, but I really just pin it up and let it dry and then drop it out. So I just kind of document parts of my life there. This is some Halloween gear, maybe a nefarious man. I only know he's nefarious because of the mustache. So my apologies to those with mustaches. We've got just a pickle floating in that brine. If you know, you know. More Legos. I guess if I had a theme I return to fill space, honestly, it does happen sometimes. I know this will come as a shock, but I'm not perfect. So sometimes I'll want to pull something easy just to make time pass, and so I'll do these Legos. But they're fun. They're different every time. And then we've got a B, and then the letter Z for no reason. No reason at all. A funny person, funny cow. Playing with the texture of fur has been interesting. It's kind of arduous, but also interesting. Next up, we brought the sign back with the Diatramentis. And I'm feeling myself with this fine. Every time I use it, it ends up being one of my favorite pages. And as much as I don't care for these two, no, okay, stop. This page is one of the things I'm most proud of ever. Look at the perspective on this. Do I know if a real artist came in here, they would be talking about how it is not really well done, and for many of the reasons that it isn't. They'd be nice about it, but come on. But I feel you can see the depth of the kitchen, and you can see that these cupcakes are on the table. It's just really cool. These are just kind of hardware items. And then this is one of those fluffy, shiny balloons that was at a birthday party, and then this little baby that was playing on the floor at the birthday party. This is supposed to be Josh, but again, I just draw horrible portraits of people. You can never recognize them. And then this is fish, loosely inspired off of Ponyo. I love those fish things. Next up, the winter sky makes a reappearance with Tiranishi Opera Rose. Here's Josh again. You can see it's a completely different person. So not even remotely accurate. This one's a little different because I brought the person's face and then had their hair in different blocks. I could see that being really cool someday to have, if it's just this whole scene and then it has different blocks making up parts of the scene. That's fun. I did a different technique here where I put a little ink on it and then I smushed it to have a little more shading. It's always fun to play with, but I never seem to like the way it comes out too much. So not really for me, but you get to play. You get to play. And then let's see. This is really interesting because if you cover that up, you can see these two people came together. So the dude with his shirt and then his arm, and then the lady, her hair and her bust, and then this like a stage. That's fun. I don't remember doing that. So good job, Pat Sarah. Opera Rose coming back in the birch. So you can see a little bit of a difference. So this is Opera Rose in a fine pilot nib, and this is Opera Rose in a medium sailor nib. So you can see the difference a little bit. So here we have another unrecognizable person. I started playing with just line breaks and texture. This is a favorite birthday mug. For my birthday, many years, I'll get 2 new mugs. And I guess the gift is getting to buy them at full price retail at this store called Mongrel, because otherwise I'd try not to buy mugs at full price, but this one, I love it. It's green. We've got a fairy brook thing going on here with the trees and stars. Got a little paved road heading out. This is a corner of the room with a little carpet for imagination. The leaves, I'll cry later. Right? Sometimes when something happens that upsets me, gosh, been on a journey of living a lot more authentically. So I can't say I do this much now, but certainly over the past few years when it felt like I was in hustle mode and learning a lot and having to perform a lot, even no matter what was going on inside, there is this sense that when something happens, I'm just going to maintain and then I'll let myself process it later. And so with this, something had made me upset and I need to do work now, so I'll cry later. Not super healthy. Can't recommend it, but Past Sarah did what you need to do. This is kind of an elfish person. I don't know why. And then my cat. All right. This is one of 2 pages that were specifically themed for a movie. So I did a full walkthrough of what each of these pictures are. So you can check that out in a different video. But this is from Ponyo, and this is the window pane fine. What a wonderful movie. The first time I saw it, I don't think I got it. But there's something about watching Ghibli movies in the room with children. It makes you just look in a totally different way. And I found myself really charmed by the lovely moments in this movie, even though it doesn't totally make sense. But this is her in the bucket. The dad is a hottie. This is the mom's forehead. I don't know. It's a charming movie. It drags a little towards the end, but I still find it wonderful. This one, I'm not a huge fan of the page, though, we have to let pens do their thing. But this is the 1911 L with a Naginata. It's a very thick architect style nib and Troublemaker Milky Ocean. I like how the cat turned out, but for the rest of it, it almost felt so thick. I didn't feel like I could do the amount of detail that I like to do. So this is just like somebody jumping on a car for some reason. I don't really know what's happening, honestly. And maybe this is dragon scales. I still try to hide behind detail to make up for what I perceive as the lack of talent. Not talent, because I love my art and I appreciate what I do, but there's a refined, trained thing that many people have that I really admire. And so I try to make up for not always imbuing that. Imbibing. I'll come back to that word. For not having that essence by adding a lot of detail. You can see here, detail. And so when I don't get to put in the detail, it makes me not pleased with my shapes and stuff. Maybe there's something there where you learn composition. I don't know. Next, 1911L, Stormy Seas in medium. This is a mix of Noodler's Massachusetts on this one, and then Smoky Navy on these. I don't often mix inks. I like to do one ink and just really go for it. And Noodler's Massachusetts 54th, this is, I would say, my top 3 inks to do these pages with, because it's just, it saturates in this really cool way. I don't know how to describe it. It's beautifully saturated and it doesn't look faded. It's muted, but not faded. Maybe that is what is making me so pleased. Got some science stuff, patterns. I don't know what this Challenger nonsense is, but there's food. And this is sea view. Right next, we've got the Champagne Decimal, which looks so. And this is Tiranishi Mall. I don't know why I said that, but I didn't really care for this color. So this is one of the samples that I'm just kind of giving away. I cannot get into purple. Someone help me. The closest I've gotten is Sailor Fuji. My friend Jennifer gave me a sample of that. I don't purple. I don't understand. Purple is a great color. I'd say I get just fine in real life, but for some reason, every purple ink, this is more of a deep rose purple, but it doesn't click for me. So this is a particular stuffy friend of mine. True sacrifice uplifts both the giver and the receiver. I don't know, that was a line from some stuff I was reading. More fish. This page just seems like a bunch of nonsense. I don't know. We got money. It's kind of a face there that looks kind of cool. Battery. What kind of a world ever felt the need to create fake flowers? Just gonna let you think about that. Next up, Monteverde Olivine makes a return. A crosshatch. And honestly, this looks Sailor Rakucha. So I am wondering if I mislabeled that. I wonder if I wrote down olivine, but then actually drew it with Rakucha, because that is a very saturated olive green. So we'll see about this. This is one of my favorite dragons to draw. It is from this sticker I have from Rickshaw's. Let me see if I can show that without spilling my drink. You can see it is this little dragon, so I'll stare at that and then try to draw it. I really love drawing that thing. I've only attempted it twice, but it always turns out great. A little pattern, more patterns. Again, it's just the movement of the pen, the repetition of the pen, trying the pen with a new ink. It's all just really satisfying. We've got a little freaky skeleton, more male. This is another pattern that I'll repeat sometimes if I'm cheating. It's just a very satisfying look. Oh, and a thin green too. That's so funny. So it's just a very satisfying looking pattern. It's always different each time, but it's nice. You'll see a lot of eyes as well. Next up, we've got the 1911L Sailor Stormy Seas. This is the ink that made me discover that this pen is a hard medium. Stop the presses. I know this does not matter to you at all, but this blew my mind. I thought this pen was a medium. I thought I only loved Sailor mediums. And it changed everything to realize I changed the ink. I was like, wow, this is kind of scratchy. What's going on? Cleaned it off. HM. Bam. Lights changed. Here's my mom again. There's a cool statue at church. My son with Cheez-Its floating around. You can kind of see this is a pair of shoes, a pair of New Balances. This was like a bookcase at my parents' house. Just lots of things. We were at my parents' house. There's a lamp in their living room. A lot of the times for my kids, we'll have breakfast. I'll do a cereal and a proteins. We got Panda Puffs, just like peanut butter puff. We went and flew kites. This is my husband sitting. Lovely. And this is Van Diemen's Cornflower. This is a part of the set of blues that I got. This is the sucker-themed page that I have a full video for. And this is the Atramentis Document Black with the Pilot E95S in a fine. And this is from Twilight. All these iconic photos from the movie. And of course, Team Charlie. If you're not Team Charlie after you grow up, I don't know. I'm worried about you. Great proud of this. I went through all the pictures in the video though. So we got the truck, the baseball scene, all these cool things. More church stuff. We got pictures, water in the hands at the pew, got a spilled drink in another pattern, some natural stuff. You can see here it playing with the background. It's fun. So using the flash marks, got some shoes, hands and water. It's really interesting to me. So I guess you could say this whole book is hands, water, cats, and flowers. This seems to be the gist. And this is a really neat stamp or a sticker from my favorite coffee shop is Hyperion in Fredericksburg. That's their logo. And so this one, we came back to Sioro, which is at Yorishizuku ink in the Decimo, which is the medium. Lots of coffee and nature, a little bit back to the kids. It's interesting to see sometimes the portraits look like I was trying to make it realistic, and sometimes they look like a stylized cartoon. I don't know. This is a lamp outside the house. This is a lamp inside the house. Got balloons as a pattern. This is me drawing some of my stickers, which was happy breakfast food. So cute. This is so funny because I went and got a haircut today, but this is the mirrors and the product bar at the place where I get my haircut. That's pretty. Next up, we got Momiji, which is at Yorishizuku ink in the 823 medium. This pen, it is so smooth. Smooth. Here we've got a lot of nature, some movie characters, some scenes. This is again my husband. It's just fun to see how different he looks in all these different things, but it's always him and it's always me drawing him. More nature. I love how this turned out. It's the castle. And then I think, our final one for this. And this is why the Noodler's 54th Massachusetts is my favorite ink. I don't know if you could tell, but it just absorbs so well with this paper. It looks wonderful. I feel like I have so much control while I'm writing. Just love it. some more religious stuff. We've got this statue, parts of the statue, the sword again. This is my little sword. I love it. And I tried to contact this kid to buy 50 of them as business gifts. I'm so glad it didn't work out, but he didn't have enough, and it was going to be too expensive because I got it at the thing for $3, which to me, honestly, absolute bargain. But he was selling some of them for a lot of money, and it was recreations of particular swords. So there really is apparently a market for anybody. So we've got a coffee with the creativity coming out of it, my cat in various poses. I love drawing those little dangles on the window treatment. I don't know. It's just a very satisfying shape. More flowers, some pens, and some wildlife. And then my cat again. There we are. And so I am about maybe a little less than halfway through this book. I'm going to have one more set to share in just a little bit. But thank you for walking through this with me. It's really fun to see people get interested in what's going on. So thanks again for checking this out. And I'll see you on the next one. Jesus. Okay. So setting this up is a trip, but you're worth it. Goodness gracious. Crikey.